And we are live again. Welcome to All Things Arsenal. So today we've got three things on the menu. A little short post-match analysis of the game against Norwich that we just won last week Saturday. And Sunday, I beg your pardon, unboxing it. Then we're going to have a look at the captaincy situation currently going on. And it's kind of like, might as well just call that segment over. And then we will also look at what may or may not happen this transfer window. So glad to have you with us on there and got Kingsley back with me again. Good to see you, Kings. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, man. Christmas holidays, I ate a lot of food. Wait for the New Year's celebrations, but I'm good, man. I'm good.
Excellent. Well, let's hope our New Year's Day isn't ruined come 2:30 p.m. by the citizens, but we'll get onto that a bit later.
Yeah, it's a sticky one there.
I think some people are saying they would have preferred that one to be called off, huh?
Yeah, trust me. Tell me about it.
But trust me, if there's any time before we go to the Norwich game to play them, it might be now because maybe they might have some people drop out. Hey, let's see.
Hopefully.
But let's go on to the Norwich game. I was impressed because you can only beat what's in front of you. Like the Sunderland game last week, they dealt with what was in front of them and they dealt with it in good fashion. There were certain moments, as you'll get with this team, where you're like, oh, what's going on there again? But at least in terms of stats-wise and conversion of chances, 5 was better than your 2 or 3 that we would get a couple weeks ago. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and we only beat Norwich 1-0 last time. So if you look at it like that, it's a huge improvement. And Norwich last game, they could have easily grabbed a couple of goals themselves. I feel like we restricted them much better. It was more organised today. We looked more like we knew how to play in as a team. So you can't say that you can't see improvements in a short space of time because you can.
Yeah, that's good. So let's go straight into it. Let's look at player ratings then. What are you giving Ramsdale?
He had nothing to do, to be fair. His distribution was good, so because of that, I'll give him a 7. But made no mistakes. When he was called upon, he did what he needed to do. But it was a very quiet game for him. He could have put out his deck chair and read a book, to be honest.
I hear what you're saying. I'll go 7.5, but I can't argue with your 7. And the only reason I'm going 0.5 is you know this anyway, being a coach and a baller yourself. Yes, there might not be lots for you to do, but you still have to stay concentrated. Because many times you can find some players, especially keepers, go missing because there's not much action they're being called into. So that's why I added the extra 0.5 for me. So what are you saying about... I'm going to leave Tierney, Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli till last because I think those 4 will stand out and you might want to pick your man of the match out of all of them. And I think let's be picking the man of the match last, unless you're going to come with something different. But what are you saying for Ben White this week?
Obviously, he played right back. We do know he's versatile and can play that role. He looked comfortable there, driving forward. Didn't really know what to do in the final third much, but he didn't really get beaten. Was a couple mistakes with his ball retention when he tried to pass out in the final third. So I guess because of that, I'd have to cut it down to just 7 as well. It wasn't like a outstanding performance.
It wasn't poor.
But it wasn't poor.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. One thing I like that he did though, which because obviously I don't know if Tomiyasu is back for Saturday's game.
I hope so.
But yeah, I hope so too, man. Yeah, we really need that, man. To be honest, but I did like the fact that he chased back one time when he actually lost the ball badly. So that's still good to see because you do know some players don't do that when they lose a ball. But to see him go back on that occasion was encouraging. So what are you saying for Odin? First starting like since what? Brentford game, was it?
I think in the Premier League, yeah. To be fair, he did all right. He looked comfortable on the ball. Didn't look like he hadn't played many games. So I give credit to him. He still kept a clean sheet. I'll give him a 7.5. I don't think he really made too many errors. Things were organised at the back. So yeah, 7.5 I think is a fair shout.
It's great. So yeah, that's good. I think next person we're looking at is Gabriel.
Gabriel, you know what you're gonna get from Gabriel.
Yeah,
he's our best centre back. Again, no mistakes. kept Pukki under wraps, and Puki's actually a decent player. I like Pukki when he
Yeah,
gets a
he
chance
is.
and pop a
Yeah.
couple off. But then again, wasn't really tested that much, so I can't give him a great rating. So probably
Yeah.
just a 7.5 as well, to be honest. Can
Yeah,
put
I'll
a
go
foot
with that
on.
too.
Didn't have to do
I'll go with
much.
that. Yeah, or like we said, we'll leave Tierney at the last with those other three. Let's look at Xhaka first, then Partey. What are you saying for these two?
I thought Shaka had a really good game.
I agree.
Controlled, yeah, controlled things. To be fair, his passing range was really good. Uh, Obviously, the yellow card. I don't think that was a yellow card, to be honest. It was quite soft, but I think because of the nature of it being Shaka, the referees just
Yeah,
automatically
yeah.
let me get the
He
yellow out.
was he was in the papers, or he's been interviewed by someone lately, and he's been talking about that and other stuff. And I do believe that it happens. We
Yeah,
won't say why
100%.
that doesn't happen with Harry Kane, but another story for another day.
Yeah.
Because he gets away with a whole lot.
If
He
Shaka
gets
did
away
what
with a
Harry Kane
whole
did
lot.
the other day, he would have got
Yeah,
deported.
or what Harry Kane does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's what.
obviously, yeah, obviously, I don't think the yellow card was his fault. I thought it was a good challenge, so I'm going to give Shaka an 8.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I agree with that. What about Partey?
Partey again controlled things. Wasn't really tested too much, but he got out of tight spaces quite well.
Mm,
Kept possession this time. His passing was much better. So I'll give him an 8 as well, to be fair, because that's the party that you want to see. And we're
yeah,
harshing him when he does poor. So when he has games like this where he's not made any mistake and he's gotten us out the pitch in areas where other players couldn't, you have to give props to that because it did lead to a few of the goals. So I'll give him an 8.
yeah. I agree with that. I agree. And to be honest, don't know if you noticed it, because at some point in the game, even in the first half, either Arteta did this or the players did it. I don't know. Maybe you might be able to tell me. Just like in the game against Sunderland, where the opposition wasn't as elite or pushing them back,
Yeah,
I felt like Partey was sitting and Xhaka could almost go a bit more
yeah,
advanced
definitely.
up, and they played more of that 4-3-3 that I personally want to see. Not because I think it's the only formation to play in the world, but it's formation I feel that this manager will possibly work best with, based on
Yeah,
what he's trying to do and the way he's trying to play. There are other managers, it doesn't matter what formation they play, you know they can work with other things. Like, for example, allow the slight digression. Pep and Klopp play 4-3-3 with one sitting midfielder. But that sitting midfielder is not necessarily defensive. They're forward thinking holding
yeah,
midfielder. Yeah.
yeah,
So I think that's what Arteta wants to eventually do. So I was kind of glad to see that, although Xhaka and Odegaard are both left-footed, so that's a little bit unbalanced if you're going to do that with two of them and they're the two in front of Partey. But that kind of worked, until that little scary moment when Norwich were coming on top of them, and that's when I think Xhaka now came back and sat a bit, and then they got it back again, and then Xhaka now went up and joined Odegaard again. So did you see that as well? Do you think that was Arteta's influence, or the players kind of did that themselves?
I think that's what Shaka doing himself, realizing it's Norwich. To
Yeah,
be honest,
yeah.
yeah.
Cool. I wanted to ask you and see whether you saw that as well. So yeah, I'll go with that. So we're looking at let's go Laka first. What do you think? How was Laka today?
Link up play was good.
As always,
Worked
usually.
hard. As usual, he worked hard. There was a couple of times the ball got nicked from him, but I felt like he could have done better. But yeah, his link up play was good. Obviously, anything he's lacking in is his finishing, his goals. I know he didn't get loads of chances, to be fair to
Mm,
him, so I can't be too harsh. But I felt like just he did what he normally does. It wasn't a game where you're like, your Laka was just on fire today, but his ball retention was good. He had quick feet a few times, so I give him a
yeah,
7.5.
yeah, that's fair enough. I agree with that. I agree with that. I do. Time will tell whether he can do what he's done in the last three games on a 10-game stretch. That's my only worry with Laka. I'm not sure his body can handle that.
Mm.
Like someone like Saka, even though Partey doesn't always give us what we want to see every game at the moment. Same with Xhaka. I think those guys can handle playing 20 games in a row. I think Saka can handle playing 20 games in a row. Same with Odegaard. And eventually, I think ESR will be able to handle playing 20 games in a row as well. I'm not sure at this level anymore whether Laka can play 10 games in a row. I think he's going to need a rest soon. And I'll come onto that later when we speak. So for me, I'll mention it now. I'm going for Martinelli as my man of the match, even though Saka got us the 2 goals. I'm looking at the whole spectrum of stuff. And I think these next 4 players, Odegaard, Martinelli, Tierney, so glad Tierney's back and he looks hungry. He looks ready, both going up and coming back. Not perfect, but at least he looks hungry. And that's what you need. And Saka, for me, these 4, in their own varying ways, have been and can start carrying the team if they want, especially Saka. I mean, he's been carrying the team for a long while now. He shouldn't need to, but let's be honest, he has. I think those 4, any of those 4 as man of the match, I'll go with anyone. But I'm going for Martinelli and I'm giving him an 8.5 simply because since he came on against Newcastle, his level has not dropped. He has maintained the same thing. And we were talking about it on the phone, was it yesterday or Sunday here, where the ball comes to him in the air and under pressure from a man, he not only controls it, he holds the man off and he gets it to the right player.
Yeah.
And this is why I agree with Arteta in holding him back, because a lot of what Arteta has been saying when they've been asking questions is that it's not that he ever doubted Martinelli. He said that he was working on his game to get certain stuff so that when he put him in, he was ready. And I can very, very much understand that. So I want to put a check in a box in my Arteta box. I have a check box for Arteta and a cross box for him now. So to balance it out. So that's a checkbox for him. I can now see, and I agree with him. I personally would have brought in Martinelli earlier, and you were saying it too. I personally would have brought him in earlier. But I can now see Arteta's point in what he has been working on this guy's game. Because not to say that things like that weren't in his game before, but we're seeing a much more cultured and ready player.
He's
and
more mature
game
now.
He's on it right now.
Yeah, he looks more mature. He's not trying to do everything at 100 miles per hour like he was when he first started getting his games. So I do see that. And obviously, we know Arteta is good with wingers because obviously when he was at City and he was Sane, he was Sterling. So we know what he's capable of. So we do know he'll get the best Martinelli at this age. And I think we're seeing that on a consistent basis, which is, to be honest, quite vital because I don't think we have any other left wingers that would be able to do what he's doing right now. So props off.
Not at the moment.
Yeah, hats off to him. Big props. And yeah, I do think 8.5 is a solid rating for him. However,
I'll go. What were you giving Odegaard?
Odegaard was my man of the match, though. I'm giving him a 9.
He was solid.
He just kept things ticking. He would drop back deep to collect balls, spraying the balls around. Obviously, I think he got 2 assists as well. And I feel like both of the assists were crucial because the first one was to Saka, which got us the 1-0. Then Norwich were pressing on a bit and the game was looking a bit edgy. And then Odegaard gets the second assist, 2-0. And that's when we knew we was going to win once we got that second goal. So I do think Odegaard was a big part of that win. And because of that, it meant in the second half we could just play with confidence and be adventurous. And I just think, his passing ability, his work rate, it doesn't matter what position he's facing. Even when I watched him at Sunderland, he always run at you. He works hard. And I really like this guy and what he's trying to do here.
Excellent. That's fair enough. I won't argue with that, giving him match. And like I said, that's why I made these 4 the last to choose because I thought your man in the match would come out from one of these 4. What are you giving Tierney?
I give Tierney 8.5. Got the goal, looked sharp, took it well. Didn't get beat at all. Didn't really make any mistakes. I thought it was a good performance for him. Again, it is Norwich though, so I can't give him that 9 or 10. But I think 8.5 because of the goal. Without the goal, probably just be a standard 7.5 or 7.
Yeah, I agree with that. And one thing I saw, I thought his control for the goal that it went a bit too far, but I forgot that he is quite pacey, so he kept up to be able to do the finish, and it was good to see him finish like that. And he's always had that in his locker to finish well. It's just good to see that that's coming back, and we just hope that if he has to be out of the team, it's because of rest rather than injury.
Yeah,
because that's the only thing we need to watch out with.
That's why I like what Arteta did.
So what you give him?
with playing Tavares,
Yeah.
I think it was really good because now Tierney's more hungry, more fired. Maybe there were signs of him getting a bit complacent because he knows that he's going to walk into the left back squad spot. So yeah, I think it's good that he's now on his toes with Tavares. Yeah, so it's good. It's good. It's good transfer business there.
Yeah, to be honest, we know this anyway. Every big team, from your Chelseas, your Liverpools, your Cities. Yes, there may not be one player for every single position, but there's no one in any of those squads that can think, yeah, I'm comfy here. Because as much as those in the first squad are good as they are, you'd probably only say your like your Salah, your Virgil van Dijk, your Mane, maybe your Diaz, the goalkeeper at C Edison, and maybe just maybe KDB are the ones, if they're fully fit, they may get a little bit more time if they fall off form. Whereas everyone else, there's someone who can come in and take your place, you know. And maybe in a few months' time, you might see that with Thiago at Liverpool as well. Is that much quality. And the point I'm trying to make is that when Arsenal were the Arsenal winning under Wenger, he built a team that, you know what, you had 16, 17 players who were battling for their positions. Even Henry said this. He said that one of the reasons he played so is that he knew he had Carney behind him. He had Will Todd at one moment. There were always, you know, people that were pushing him. So he had to make sure he kept that space. So that's what you want. That's what you.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So what are you giving Saka?
I thought Saka was brilliant. I think he ended, what's his name, Brandon Williams' career, especially with that second goal. It was cut inside, came out wide, cut inside, came out wide, cut inside. Yeah, it was send him all the way to the shops, asked for a KA and a packet of Twix. But nah, Saka was great today. He was confident. He took the second goal ever so well. That's actually his first game where he's got a brace as well, so it was good. It was good to see. Obviously, I gave Odegaard the man of the match with a 9, but I'll also give Saka a 9 as well. I thought he was just excellent. So
that's good. I'm glad to hear that. So now we move on to the City game. What do you reckon? I'll let you go first. What are your predictions?
Man City. I believe we're at home. Our home form is very good. But City is a different animal. They're in form right now. And that game against Leicester, it looked like Leicester were creeping back up, and then City were like, "Nah, you're not coming back today." Scored 2 more. City are just dangerous, man. I feel like this City squad is just winning away with the Premier League at the moment. They don't even look like they're gonna fall off at all. It's gonna be. I have to be real. I can't see us winning that game. Yes, is that the family? Yeah, I can't see us winning that game, man.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough. I'd even love a draw, but yeah,
I totally agree with you.
Oh, we still got you.
I agree.
So
I agree with you. Just before we carry on, gonna see if we can do something regarding our reception here, because it's my turn to start losing you a bit today. So I heard everything you said, and I'm hoping the viewers will as well. But yes, but it's just been cracking up a little bit. So what we'll do is we're gonna start a new broadcast. Have a look at that. Okay, thank you everyone for watching. We'll be